in Flanders, Belgium, a modern seaport, the final point for many an adventurous seafarer. Since its first settlement in the 7th century, Ghent has been connected with the sea. It's a city of history. Its architecture is a tapestry of centuries long gone. Quaint narrow streets, opulent churches, pretty squares flanked by waterways, and everywhere culture. Ghent is truly a city of culture. Great artists and scholars of the 15th and 16th century were followed by the trades of the Industrial Revolution. But now let's go back in time to Ghent at its peak. Charles V, one of the greatest monarchs in history, is visiting the city. The year 1544. The place, St. Peter's Abbey, and down below, an incredible entertainment is about to unfold for him and you. The panoply begins with the introduction of the teams. Flafine from the Bernese Oberland, and they are representing Switzerland. The square is peopled by extras. The people of Ghent. A young lady presents the town's credentials to King Charles V. This great monarch, one of the greatest monarchs ever in the history of the world. And now the French team of Le Cadet. They're from the south, very much near Nice in the Maritime Alps. Gloucester, going back to AD 96, the Roman settlement of Glevum, a beautiful city between the Cotswolds and the Forest of Dean. The Italians from Maratea, they're from the very far south in Calabria, a mountainous region and a resort on the Mediterranean Sea. Viseu of Portugal, a cathedral city full of history and culture, very much like Ghent, northeast of Lisbon, in the orange. Jets from Yugoslavia, came part of Yugoslavia in 1943. There, a lakeside resort too, surrounded by mountains. Finally the noise, the eruption as Ghent appears, the home team. On the first joust, and you know what jousting is about, it was for a lady's favor. The object of exercise, to unsaddle your opponent. They come from opposite sides of St. Peter's Abbey Square. The Frenchman is on the left, the Englishman on the right. They are equipped with the genuine lances, but the horses aren't. They're propelled by two men underneath. Ah, the Frenchman's unseated, so Gloucester have won the first round. A fantastic lance there by young Vivian Woolley, an export manager sometime of Gloucester.
We have a winning team, Great Britain 106. Gloucester in.
So that one indicates the first run. You have 4 runs to unseat your opponent. The time is 6 seconds. A plus time for Britain, a minus time for France. And we could be online at 6 points on our first game. No jokers yet. Yugoslavia. Miso Kumbo is against the Swiss, who is Paul Schaefer. 4 runs to club your opponent. Underneath the horse, 2 men running like the clappers. If they don't unseat on round 1, and is the Swiss off or is he on or what? No, he's still there, he's intact. Will he pick up his lance and go back? Will they let him stay on? Of course, he's hooked to wires above his head. Because they're very tall, these horses. I think you'll enjoy the pageantry tonight, despite the appalling weather, and it really is bucketing with rain. It's a great shame for the Belgian television. Here we go! Both lances lost. Round 3. This time. They're both off. No. A little delicate judgment. Now, to decide which of them was unseated first.
Yes, it is very clear. The the Swiss horseman fell the first. So we give the winning team.
The winning time is Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia. For Yugoslavia, we have a time of 3:05.
So on the scoreboard, 3 rounds
And for
and 5
Switzerland,
seconds.
we have a losing
And a minus time for Switzerland.
3:05. It was very clear for everybody.
The Swiss already with 2 wins under their belts. Tesoretti and Versoix, who won at Sherban. Pedro Palma is the teacher of physical education from Portugal. Miguel Powers is also a teacher of physical education from Ghent. So you will sit back and enjoy this. There'll be a lot of power and muscle going in. Plus the good wishes for the Belgian of 5,000 people in the town square. Here we go. He's still on. He got him straight in the vitals, Sir Percy. Stabbed me vitals.
And that 3, 2, 1.
Second round. Listen to the cheers mounting now. No, they both missed. Not particularly bright news this for Belgium, because they are a very strong team and fancy themselves, and they want to represent Belgium in the final, but neither have come off. 4 runs is the maximum. So whatever happens, these 2 teams will finish bottom and next to bottom. So they will both finish in 5th position, I presume. And a little disappointment there, Gennaro says.
No team could make the game correctly, and we must put to both teams null on the blackboard. Then the score. We have for Great Britain 6 points.
Oh, how nice to see it from the first game on.
Yugoslavia 5 points.
Gloucester fancying themselves. Yahtzee come in for 5.
4 points.
Plafijn 4.
3 points.
Le Canet 3.
For Portugal 1 point.
Viseu. Just 1 point for Ghent. A marvellous fil rouge. In the middle of there is a presenter called Walter, who is representing Leonardo da Vinci in the square tonight. He is in his laboratory. And he's inventing like mad, because you remember Da Vinci was one of the greatest inventors of all time. He invented a flying machine. Walter has just shown you that men can fly. Da Vinci said if it's possible for a bird to reach the highest heights only with the help of wind, then man can do it as well. So, 7 gentlemen have to flap their wings and rise to the sky. They flap away. The incredible birdmen of Ghent. We're on the end, on the right-hand side. We're going up in the air. And you have to stay there. I'll tell you how they do it, but just adore the magic in the mind of the designer, Eric Willems, who designed this incredible fil rouge, linking Leonardo's designs for a flying machine to Ghent tonight. The Frenchman coming down to earth. I'll not explain how the game works yet, but it's a straight battle between the Belgian keeping aloft, flapping his wings, and Britain. The Belgians coming down. Oh, this is marvellous news for Britain. I assure you, this is incredible. We haven't seen this before. Wonderful display here by Barry Evans of Gloucester. And the Belgians coming down to earth. This could be a real turn-up for the book. I don't think anybody can beat this time, because the time is taken. The best time is for how long you can stay aloft. And Barry Evans is absolutely magnificent. There it is for you all to see. There he is. He's just finally touching down now for a most incredible time in the fil rouge. In comes Guido with the good news from Aix to Ghent. 2:08 is a world record time. What a start for Gloucester. I don't think many people will be able to beat that time throughout the evening. I'll tell you the mechanics of the fil rouge on round 3. We now come to the castle game, because in the 12th century, the castle of the Counts here in Ghent was one of the strongest fortresses in Flanders, besieged 3 times, never taken. It was a military fortress, then the residence of the Count of Flanders, later the High Court of Justice. But in the dungeons, instruments of torture and torment, and we reenact what went on in those dark, distant days. From the bowels of the dungeon emerge an Italian and a Yugoslav, heavily chained, manacled round the wrists, and with those great steel balls round their feet, weighing 15 kilograms or 33 pounds. And they have to simulate the great escape from the dungeons, and not many people did it. The castle of the Counts is full of instruments of torture that we used in those far-off, distant days. Yugoslavia. They come to the top. He's up. He's aloft. 2 teammates come rushing forward when he is, and release him. They release him from the ball and chain. He's up. 2 teammates come forward. They release him. The opposition throw a net down over the doorway, and they put on a ram's head, and you will not see the end of this game.
We put for both teams, we put for Italy 0-0 and for Yugoslavia 0-0.
Dus voorlopig op het scorebord voor beide ploegen. Voor Maratea en voor Jetse, Joegoslavië
0-0-0 for a lot of effort, which does seem rather hard cheese on those 2 big, strong, fit boys. But that's one of the penalties. You can never budget for the weather anywhere. In we go. Mucker Nettles. Peter Boone of Gloucester. On the right. On the left, Bruno Everett. It's so realistic, though, isn't it? The way they shuffle forward, the poor wretch. Bread and water for weeks. It's supposed to be about fun and laughter and... All he needs is somebody now to come with a big horse whip to complete the picture. Hey, I'll tell you what he's doing rather well. The Belgians in trouble, but look at the rain. And what a shame for all the costume, all the effort and the affection that's gone into it. Peter Boone is really busting his guts. That's the Belgian, and I will give you some idea of what they're up against. They really are heavy. They're not just plasticine and plaster. Peter Boone's up. He's on the top. Come on, Peter Boone. This is another incredible run. A very strong man indeed. Up come his teammates. They take off the manacles. They take off the ball and chain from round the ankles. The opposition fling a net down, but it will make no difference at all to a strong guy like Peter Boone. They put on the ram's head, and they pick him up, and they use him as a battering ram, and bingo! End of game. When he gets to the top of the ramparts, end of game, top of ramparts. There he goes, unfurls the banner GB, and the time is taken. One more wrench, and his teammates will be unleashed from the dungeon to come and help him. And we're all on his side at this stage now. Up the top, 1. You know the game, there's the ram's head. And they pick him up. Muckernettle straight through, taking the net with them. The opposition up atop. For a couple of goes from France. He must be there now. He takes the banner. End of story.
Met veel sleuren, maar het is mogelijk. Het is possible.
We had a little check. We take off. We agreed absolutely with Guido Pacazzi that we have to take out 30 seconds because that boy was stopped there. The time was 3:29 minus 30 seconds. It is 2:59.
2:59. Fair dues. It wasn't his fault that the ball and chain was faulty. 1:44. Nobody will beat that. They're off. And the last heat. Starring the French and the Swiss. Le Cadet from the south of France. You will remember them last year. They competed, I think, in Maringen in Switzerland and came third. They were very anxious to qualify and represent France in the final, which is next week in Urbino. The Swiss, also very anxious. A very strong team indeed. And that's a big boy. All of 6'2", and you need to be 6'2" and very strong for this game. Has the rain abated slightly, I ask? We're keeping an eye on the time before you. Coming up to 50 seconds. The Swiss are up. They'll beat us. And the Frenchman coming too. Lapse time, 1 minute 10 seconds. It does help to be tough. Le Cadet and the Swiss both up. Ooh. One way to get a splitting headache. Fine with the time better than ours. And what about Le Cadet? Le Cadet coming now, and it's a time of 1:42, I think, may have shaded Gloucester into third place.
Yes, for France, the time is 1 minute 45.
1:45, oh, that's good news.
And the best time for Switzerland, 1:32.
So another 5 points for Gloucester in their quest to represent Britain.
6 punten voor Plafayen.
And incredibly, no jokers played yet.
5 punten voor Gloucester.
5 points. That's 11 from 2 games. It's good going.
3 voor Gent.
For Italy, 1 point.
Maratea 1.
And for Yugoslavia, 1 point.
En Jetse 1 punt.
The printer, Gloucester 11, Plafayen 10, Le Cadet 7, Jatse 6, Ghent 4, Maratea 1 and Vinci only 1.
Gent staat op de derde
Ah, the jokers are in. A veritable rush. Portugal, Italy, France.
Eerste plaats, 6 punten extra. Tweede plaats is 4 punten extra. Derde plaats in het spel is 2 punten extra.
So the two. Another one for Britain. Played by a very charming young lady. All the way from Gloucester.
Good luck to you.
So this is very important now. The first heat, no jokers played, but 4 in heat 2 and heat 3. The docker. He has to unload parcels. 12 parcels, 12 objects. And now you'll see in the middle of your picture 2 ladies doing their fruits. They are winding away. What are they winding, you're asking me? Well, you see, the dockers are wearing suits. Now, if you will scrutinize those suits very closely, boys and girls sitting at home, you will see they are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You'll see treading from them at the back, a pipe. In other words, the girls are pumping up the suits to make it more difficult for the guys to run. What will happen? Will they burst or will they collapse? 12 objects, you will see they're heavy. Barrels of wine, jars of spices. The last object, not that wicker basket, but upside down at the moment, a basket of flowers. So the Portuguese are blowing up the Belgian, and the French girls are blowing up the Swiss. And this is vital for Gloucester because if they are going to overtake Charnwood's 44 set up in La Madeleine, you remember Charnwood at the moment representing England, Great Britain in the final in Urbino, they have to win the Joker. It's vital to get points out of your Joker and points from a fil rouge, and I'm certain that they'll get backs of points out of that fil rouge. That really was something else extra from Barry Evans. 2 minutes of a game. We've had 1:45 seconds now. And that's the bowl of flowers for the Belgian. He finished. The times from Guido.
We are so sorry, we have for Belgium no time, 11 objects, while they lose 1.
Ja, zoals gezegd, 1 voorwerp.
Oh, 11 objects, he finished.
Voorwerpen voor België.
And for Switzerland the same, 10 objects.
10 objects.
While they lose 2.
Ja, en dus Zwitserland zit in hetzelfde bootje.
They've lost 2. Portugal versus France. And we are winding against the French. The French are on their Joker.
And 3, 2, 1.
So it's up to 2 girls called Tina and Lynn to inflate that Frenchman and make it impossible for him. Well, he nearly went hilt over scabbard then. But they are trying really hard, these Frenchmen and women. So we look at Tina there and Lynn in the background, winding away like fury, inflating him up. You've got to load the cart very carefully because if your objects don't stay in the cart, in other words, if they go over the other side, they are deemed lost. That's what happened with the Belgian and the Swiss. In lapse time, 1:15 gone, 2 minutes max. The Frenchman getting bigger and bigger by the second. It's impossible to count them for you, but when you see the bowl of flowers, which is lying on the floor in the middle of the picture, when the Frenchman picks that up, there it is, it's upside down, he picks it up now. If that goes on the cart and stays on, that's the end of the story for him, and the time is taken, and we make about 1:50.
Nou ja, ik zie dat al voorwerpen.
We have 2 good jokers. For Portugal, a time of 1:34.
Ooh, whiz bang, 1:34.
And for France,
For Vinci.
1:50.
En voor Le Canet
1:50 confirmed for Le Canet. Vital now for Gloucester.
die een joker.
Moment of truth for Vivian Woolley there, because he was the guy, remember, who won the first game for Gloucester. Brimful of confidence must he be by now, competing with a fellow called Michele from Italy. A good, strong boy. Needs to keep his head. And opposing him, 2 Swiss girls, inflating him. He's had 30 seconds. And how many has he got? 4. He's 12. If he keeps that up, he's on course for something like 1:30. But remember, he's getting bigger by the second. Well, he's cool. He's not panicking. Keeping an eye on the Italian. Crafty look over the shoulder there. Big heavy sack to come. And I would be taking the heaviest stuff first if I were Vivian, because as he gets bigger, it becomes more and more difficult to carry the stout objects. 1 minute and 10 seconds in lapse time. The very heavy sack. It looks to have 4. 4 left. He's behind. He's behind the clock. If he has 4, we think he has 4. He is not on course for a world record. The time to beat is 1:34. 1:34 he's got to beat to come in to beat the time of the Portuguese on the second heat. No, he's not going to do it. He's up to 1:40. The next time is 1:50 to beat. And what about the Italian? It's the last bowl of flowers, 1:45, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1:48 seconds. So he could come second. The Italian squandered his joker. We are in the points.
So, We have for Great Britain a time of 1:48.
Voor Gloucester.
Excellent.
1:48.
And for Belgium, 11 objects. Italy, sorry. For Italy, 11 objects.
En voor Maratea 11 voorwerpen.
The point. For Portugal, 6 points plus 6 points for the joker.
Good joker played and won. But equally well played for Gloucester and Vivian Woolley, an export manager sometime of Gloucester. 9 points. So that's marvellous for Vivian Woolley. That's 15 points off his own bat. He's won for Gloucester so far during the night. He won the first game, remember, and came second on the joker in that game. So, after 20 points for Gloucester, Vivian Woolley's amassed 15. The genius Da Vinci. Now let me tell you how the game works. The 7 boys are strapped onto something that look like long cranes. In actual fact, they are seesaws. And they are counterbalanced. They are counterbalanced so that the weight of the boy, as he takes off, is only a few grams. There's a great big weight at the other end of the seesaw. Are you following me? And also, in the weight is water. And he's got 5 seconds to get up to the top, the boy, by flapping his wings, by creating the breeze and actually flying to take himself to the top. He must go to the top gently. When he gets to the top, he wants to stop flapping his wings and stay absolutely motionless, because backstage, from the tank at the other end of the seesaw, is running all the time a stream of water. Now then, have you calculated what's happening? As the water leaks away from the tank at the other end of the seesaw, so the boy gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And eventually, no matter what happens, he comes down to earth. The object of the game is to stay in the air. That's us, on our way down. That's Mike Wilmot. He's in electronics. But he hasn't resisted long enough. Every picture tells a story. Let's see who they are, those guys. That's the Swiss with the specs. 209. Well, whilst I've been telling you, I have not kept my eye on the clock. And that Swiss aeronaut has come in for a better time than us.
We have the time for Portugal, 48 seconds.
Voor Viseu 48 seconden.
For Italy, 55 seconds.
Voor Maratea
The two important times are the French
Yugoslavia, 101.
and the Swiss. The Swiss will take the lead.
1 minuut 01.
For Belgium, 128.
Oh, Gent haalt 1 minuut en 28 seconden.
For Great Britain, 135.
Voor Gloucester.
We'll retain our time of 208.
For France, 214.
Voor
2:14.
Le Canet 2 minuten 14
So obviously
seconden.
now the Swiss outlasted them, so we're in third place.
En voor
We'll be pushed down to third place.
Fijn. In de 15e eeuw, dames en heren, kocht een bereik.
Well, once upon a time,
Het stukje ontsterfelijk.
in the 15th and 16th century, Flemish art ruled the world. And the most famous painter in the world at that time was John van Eyck. The teams now have to recreate that picture. One of the most famous paintings in the whole world. It's on oak. And there is the centerpiece of it, the Mystic Lamb. We are playing on the right-hand side. Two boys and a girl have to build the picture. 12 panels. There's John the Baptist. There's Jesus, is the top panel. The middle top panel. On the right, John the Baptist. On the left, the Virgin Mary. A fantastic polytiche, painted on oak in the cathedral, but obviously photographed on wood here. That's the British going in. So we're virtually even. 12 panels, and there's a mystery panel, the 12th one, which is covered. The army of Christ is going in. There. That is Eve on the top right. The players have to memorize what is virtually a jigsaw. Gloucester doing well. They've got Eve and Adam. They're the angels. 12 pieces, with a mystery piece coming up now for Gloucester. That is a mystery piece. They have 3 to choose, 3 pieces of a jigsaw to choose. Now the choice could affect the final score. There it is, the plain one. They're the Portuguese. We've got to slot it in the bottom. Get into the bottom, come on, get it in. And Adam goes over the top. Portuguese a bit thick on this one. Now come on, that is Adam. But they've got it right. Oh, they've got to get that plain one, which goes at the bottom left. That's it. And Adam goes on top. We've finished. We've finished. Unfortunately, the story is that in 1934, a caretaker who worked at St. Barbara's Cathedral clinched the 12th panel.
Only 12 objects. Then we will see what's happening afterwards. We go now to Portugal, direct.
Yes, to Portugal, Viseu.
That's the time 2:29.
Dus een tijd voor
2:29, but now they peel off
was 2:29.
the front
Dan kan er
of,
bij komen of afgaan. Dit moet
and
een
behind
rechter zijn.
determines Gennaro and Guido, not the judges of integrity, but the 2 judges. They incur a penalty of plus 10 seconds. If you peel away the front, and it's Gennaro and Guido behind, you incur a penalty of 10 seconds. So the Portuguese time, 2:39.
12 objects.
En voor Gloucester...
Unfortunately, only 12 objects. We didn't get a time.
3, 2, 1.
Paintings, of course, in the 15th century and 16th century are mostly religious. But this is an absolute masterpiece. If ever you come to the city of Ghent, you must go to St. Barbara's Cathedral and see the Van Eyck masterpiece. Finished in 1432, and to gaze at it, you would think it had been painted only yesterday, in magnificent condition. It survived wars and fire and pestilence, withstood it all, but the missing panel is still missing. It's never been found. And they've been searching for it now for 30 years since it was first stolen. And nobody knows where it is. So if you know, sitting at home, where the missing panel of this polytiche is, then kindly let us know. Meantime, the Almighty goes in the middle, the Virgin Mary on the left, John the Baptist on the right. Adam's on the far left, Eve on the far right. The musicians flank John the Baptist. There goes Eve, and it's a good time, these 2 teams. A little better at it, a little bit of brain work needed here. Yugoslavia on the left, and France, Le Carré on the right. It must be in the correct order. And the great piece in the bottom middle, there's Eve, sparing your blushes at home. When you see it, the divine lamb is at the back of that centerpiece, and the fountain of life is at the front. They're the angels, Adam himself. Both teams finishing with a respectable time. Limit time is 2:30. Both finished.
So we have for France a time of 2:14.
Le Canet 2:14. En dan gaan we even kijken of het rechtvaardige rechters zijn, al dan niet.
2:14. Oh, and another 10-second penalty.
3 panelen, 1 kans op 3.
And that means that we have for France
2:24.
24.
Dus het wordt 2-24 voor Le Canet.
Over to Yugoslavia.
Voor dit lamgods, Jetse Joegoslavië. We had the time.
Yahtzee.
The time for Yugoslavian is 2:18.
2:18.
2:18. And only one means a 5-second penalty.
That means now 2:23.
2:23 the time.
Dus 2:23.
2-1.
Switzerland versus Italy. The rain has magically stopped. The pieces are taken up in any order and treated with very scant regard indeed by the Italian side. Well, there's one small boy excited. I hope you are at home too, because Gloucester in with a fair chance. Still winning on the master scoreboard handsomely by 7 points from the French, which will slip a little bit here, and of course we drop a game later on. But everything to hope for, and certainly a pageant here, certainly theatre and fun and excitement, all the ingredients that make knockout a world beater it is. The Swiss are unwrapping the secret parcel. They have 3 panels to choose, as you know by now. They have chosen one. If it is right, it will be the Judges of Integrity, which was painted by another artist. Pharaoh likeness, though. The naked, inexperienced eye, one can hardly tell the difference. But that's a very rapid time by the Swiss, 1:43. Is that the last piece in the jigsaw? It is. So whatever happens, what is happening out there?
Ik denk het niet.
Good time.
For Italy, we have unfortunately only 11 elements.
Only 11.
Only 11 elements. So only for fun. We can look. Only for fun. Only for
Yes,
fun.
it doesn't mean a thing. Oh, they got it right. The Italians, it doesn't count, actually got it right. They are the Judges of Integrity. Now, what about the Swiss? If they got it right, they get a time.
Until now,
I'll take
the
off
best
5 seconds.
1:43.
Tot nu 1:43.
And just one. So a 5-second penalty makes it 1:48.
1:48.
Dus 1:48 voor de Plafijn.
But they will pick up the 6 points.
Switzerland 6 points.
Plafijn Zwart 6 punten.
Yugoslavia 5 points.
Jij zit bij.
Jahtzee 5. Le Canet 4.
Portugal 3 points.
Viseu 3.
Viseu 3.
2 points.
Gloucester 2.
2 punten.
And Italy 1
And the Italians and Maratea just 1 point. Let's have a look at the readout now. Still in the lead, Gloucester, 22 points. Flapine 17, Le Canet 17, Viseu 16, Jauze 11, Ghent 7 and Maratea 5.
Gent op de voorlaag. België.
In comes the Belgian Joker, I spy. The Belgians cheering the Joker, the rain has stopped magically. Well, this is about one of the most popular ways to get rid of people you don't like.
Portugal, please.
It's
Portugal.
called the trap dungeon.
Portugal, ready?
Portugal and Yugoslavia and Belgium play. Begins with 2 boys picking up an enormous flail hinged to the ground. They have to lift this great mace weighing 120 pounds aloft over the pivot and on the other side, and it bangs into a well. Because in the olden times, look at the Belgians doing it, bang! It nicks a little trap door, and 3 witches of the 3 teams disappear into the well. It's called a trap dungeon. And trap dungeons were disguised in olden times as anything. You'd be sitting on a wall, and suddenly the wall would cave in beneath you, and you would disappear to a dungeon 50 feet below. Look at this. The battle is on. Gusto will get the time. It's the Belgian time. And they run back, get on the well, bring out the girl, take off her witch's clothes, and bring her out as a courtesan, and the time is taken. 52 seconds. Oof. But look at the size of those Belgians.
Ja, men heeft de tijd genoteerd natuurlijk.
And for Portugal, we have the intermediary time for one run, 23 seconds for Portugal.
So 23 seconds is for one run. Obviously 2 runs get you the best time. You've got to flop the base backwards and forwards.
Ook een tussentijd voor Joegoslavië, 21.
And for Belgium, we had a good time, a total time of 52 seconds.
52 seconds. Oh, and listen, the crowd erupts at that one. You know the game by now. You've got to get hold of this great big flail, or mace as they call it here, with those evil things on it. And throw it over on the other side. It hits the wall of the well. Oh, look at these Frenchmen. Boom! She disappears into the well, into the dungeon. Screams are emitted. We're over. I know Gloucester didn't fancy this game, but they certainly got it over, so they'll get a time. They pull a trap door, pull the trap door, make it disappear, and then they've got to get it back. Now what's happening? The Italians, the French have done it, so have Italy. The game finishes when those 2 gentlemen go to the well, heave out the damsel, embrace all round, and we're struggling. That's Peter Boone. Oh, listen.
For Great Britain, it is only time for one run, intermediary time, 31 seconds.
Een tussentijd voor Gloucester, 31
Is
seconden.
not good enough.
For France, that's the best time, 47 seconds.
So the French, enormously strong,
For Italy,
plugging away the French Le Canet, hoping to qualify.
then that makes for France 6 points.
Le Canet 6 punten.
For Italy, 5 points.
Bad news for Gloucester.
For Belgium, 4 points plus 2
We got off
points
so
for the
well,
Joker.
6 points on the first game, 5 on the second,
Voor de joker.
Then for Yugoslavia, 3 points.
9 on the third, but only 2 on the fourth and only 1
For
now.
Portugal, 2 points.
Viseu 2 punten.
And we lose the
And
lead.
for Great Britain, 1 point.
En voor Gloucester 1 punt.
And now, of course, you know the mechanics of this Fil Rouge. We are third from the right-hand side. Vivian Woolley. Vivian Woolley, already famous in the hamlets and the byways of the fair city of Gloucester as a great competitor, already with 15 points on the scoreboard on his own. Where are we? Have I proclaimed his fame too early? I am afraid I have. I have made a superstar out of Viv, and he's not even aloft. You have 5 seconds to get off the block, flap the wings, and descend into the sky. Because after 5 seconds, the water is automatically switched on. And it starts to pour out of your container. So if you're not aloft in 5 seconds, you can forget it. Down and out, the Italians, the British, the French, the Swiss. Still aloft, the Belgians. And the Portuguese. Once you start to come down, and the water evacuating from the bucket at the back ensures that your weight takes you down to earth again. Once you start to go, there's nothing you can do to stop it. 152. We need him down to earth. We need him down in less than 208. And he's going to beat us. He's using his brains to keep aloft. 208. He's outside our time. 213. If he resists for 224, he's got the best time. He's coming in 4. 220. The crowd love it. Puts him in second place, I think. And pushes us down to fourth.
Toestel dat het de mens nog eens zo ver zal brengen dat hij zelfs buiten de aardbol zal kunnen vliegen en zweven. Eerlijk waar. Guido,
Torrent.
Gent heeft het goed gedaan.
Intercontinental flight for Belgium, 2:20 seconds.
Voor Gent 2 minuten 20 seconden.
For Portugal, 1:42.
Voor Viseu 1 minuut 42 seconden.
Portugal will take their fresh time.
59 seconds.
Voor Plafijn Schwarzee 59 seconden.
For France, 57 seconds.
Voor Le Carré
57 for France,
57
so obviously
seconden.
they will
For
reject that.
Yugoslavia, 21 seconds.
Jaitzee, hoeveel?
And a very disappointing time for us.
21 seconden.
4 Vivian
For
never got
Italy,
started.
20 seconds.
Voor Maratea 20 seconden.
We never got off the blocks.
14 seconds.
En
Never
Plaster
started.
14 seconden. Zo.
We're now
Gent
in
heeft
fourth
de beste
place.
tijd daar gedaan.
Joegoslavië.
The Yugoslav doubts its joker coming in.
En een joker voor...
And also the Swiss. All jokers played now. This is game number 6. If you just come in, game 6.
Oké, we zien hoe een waterzooi bereid wordt.
And the French and the British still leading.
En daar.
The big
3,
cooking
2,
pot.
1.
En daar gaat
2 Italians. I've got to load the vegetables in
de
their
kip
cooking pot.
is van de tegenstrevers. Maar de
The
groenten
2
zijn
Italian
van
men
dezelfde ploeg.
have to load the vegetables,
Mag gehinderd worden.
which are obviously teammates in veg costume. The celery, onion, carrot, into the waterzooi soup. And then the opposition is a girl chicken dancing about there from Yugoslavia. They're looking some fun. They've got to get her in the pot as well. She has to resist with all her might. They've got to lug her along there. These 2 Italian guys from Malatea and fling her in the pot. She doesn't want to go in at all. They've got, yes. They don't care at all. A lot of fun, this game. Sit back and enjoy it, please.
Was an Italian minestrone.
Ministro.
The
Not water
total
zooi.
time for Italy 1:06.
Maratea
1:06.
1:06.
She had a step over leg lock on that bloke's neck.
Deze speler in de schaar nou.
Yes, we have the time for Portugal.
Well, she, the princess, is a civil servant back in Gloucester, and no doubt her mates will be laughing their sides off.
3, 2,
Set to the cello at an early age, those legs were. Look out! Oh!
De groenten zijn Chris Beckstad.
Is that a professional foul? She's after the celery, she's got him. We don't know where he is. Oh, what a lovely performance. Oh. Christian Pillar, she's called, this girl. The chicken for Switzerland. Oh, wait. It doesn't help if your teammates, who are men, by the way, in the veg, wait and don't... Oh. I love the unceremonial way they just bundle it in. They just don't care, but they've got a good time.
A bit of this soup. 56 seconds. It is the
56.
best time at the moment. And that 3, 2, 1.
Away go Gloucester. And it's getting rather slippery out there. And who was opposing? Oh, it's an Italian girl. That should be hijinks now. She's called Lorenza. And she's creeping about. Get hold of it. She came sort of poking a little nose in there, didn't she? Making no attempt really to interfere, but nope, they've got her. They've got her by the legs. Oh! What a time, fastest time. Two boys very happy with themselves. 32 seconds must be.
Very quick for Great Britain, 32 seconds.
Mike and Nigel.
I don't understand why the chicken, the Italian chicken...
Ja. We begrijpen het. Ja, het was eigenlijk een
An
geschenk.
absolute gift. The Italian chicken sacrificed herself, as you just said. The twist on the joker. Well, what a performance by this Portuguese. She's called Irelander. She tripped up the celery, and now she's off back again. Now she says, "I'm going now. I'm off. You've got to run the length of the course to catch me." She says, I've done my attacking. I'm on the deck, and you've got look at the wild eyes. Look on that Swiss man. He got hold of her breeches, he got hold of her legs. Round the... How's the time? Oh, we're outside the British time. Enjoy the game. We've won it. And she went in standing up. What a great performance.
Sneller en sneller gaat in dit spel. We moeten afwachten. 56 naar 32 nu.
The time for Switzerland is 52 seconds.
52. Puts them in
52
second.
seconden voor Plafay en Schwarzee.
The Yugoslavs also on the joke.
Basja. And that 3, 2, 1.
The competition still wide open. That's the chicken. Pascala, she's called. This could be quick. The chicken's running away, and she now has a big resistance stop to do. 19 seconds she's had. The veg are in. Well, we're in a bit of danger. 28 seconds, 29, 30. If she goes in, no, we're all right. 6 points. Enjoy it. Enjoy the Belgian resistance. Oh. And the time we make unofficially 40 seconds, which puts them in second place. Which is quite good news for us.
Yugoslavia is
The French don't play, so we shall take a handsome lead yet again.
Great Britain, 6 points.
6 points. 2 games on the night. We've won outright. And we finished second in 2 others.
4 points plus 2 for the joker.
Plafay en Schwarzee 4 punten plus 2 voor de joker.
For Belgium, 3 points.
Gent 3 punten.
For Italy, 2
Absolutely
points.
wide open. I don't think throughout the series we've seen anything quite like this. Any one of 5 teams could win it. No clear winner so far. A game in 3 heats. 2 dragons, the French and the Italians. 2 boys, 2 girls in the dragon. Go through the swamps that used to be on the outskirts of Ghent in the 14th century. The dragon that was supposed to guard the precious and inaccessible treasures of Ghent eventually became the symbol of the idea of freedom, because they're a very individual race of people, the Ghentois. Very, very independent. They've always fought wars. They've always fought for what they believe in. They reached their peak in Ghent at the time of the Industrial Revolution, when they became known as the Manchester of the continent, a great textile city. The game finishes when the dragon gets back to base and is stabbed in the chest. A rather gory end. Voila. They stab the polystyrene. The death of the dragon subsides slowly in the heap. 113 for the French. Maritaire not really expected to shine tonight, and they haven't really let us down.
Het is een van de kruistochten.
Doing a little calculation.
So we have Italy
It is
out of
still
time.
possible for
0-0.
Gloucester
Maratea 0-0.
to overhaul
France at
Charnwood.
time 1:15.
But let's look at the times in the meantime. We're not playing in this game, by the way, Britain, so relax and enjoy it.
And then 3, 2, 1.
The Swiss and the Belgians. The Belgians hoping to make an impression. Only 16 points on the leaderboard. Very disappointing for them so far. Certainly they won't be representing their country. It's impossible for them now to beat the 40 points of Rochefort. And we've been doing a quick calculation too, and even if Gloucester win the last game and the Fil Rouge, the maximum points they can amass is 43, which is just not enough to put them into the final, because Charn would have 44. So we're playing for the honour of Britain tonight and not for a place in the final next week in Urbino. And their enthusiasm never dampened. I told you they were quite individual. They're still smiling, even though the costumes are ruined. The hopes of the Ghent team tonight have been dashed. But they're struggling through. The Swiss on furthest away from you. The Belgians nearest, of course. A good time. One. Oh, oh, oh. It's a gory end, isn't it? And a large kick in the abdomen to the leading fellow. The Swiss struggling in.
Afstand te nemen. Best is tijden noteren.
So we have for
That's why with
Switzerland
46 points.
1:56 seconds.
Voor Plafay en
Sherben.
Schwarzee.
Certain to represent
56
Switzerland.
seconden.
And for Belgium,
And
the
for
second time,
France,
best time
the team of Foix,
1:37
with
seconds.
47 points
En
to represent.
1:37 voor Gent.
Portugal versus Yugoslavia. Jatse against Vinci. Two cities not unlike, but separated by several hundred miles. Vinci, a cathedral city full of history and culture northeast of Lisbon. Not very far from Aveiro Airport. Fairly high up, as is Jousting. They're on a lake surrounded by mountains, 1,000 feet above sea level. Became part of Yugoslavia in 1943. The music in the background, faintly, is traditional. St. Peter's Abbey, there in the background, was begun in the 16th century. Ah, a good run by the Portuguese. They're getting stabbed now. The gory end, which you love, don't you, at home? Say yes. Oh, and a very authentic death. You can quite believe that. The Swiss. Time, 1:56. So, the French time, 1:15. Could see them in for 6 points.
We have for Yugoslavia 1:51.
1:51 for Yugoslavia.
And for Portugal, one of the best time, 1:19.
1:19. The French pick up 6 points, makes them 29. So once again, they're level with us, level pegging at the top. And it's been quite a battle between Le Canet and Gloucester all night. Gloucester in the lead, then Le Canet came up with them, took the lead, but equal lead. Gloucester never out of the frame. And everything to play for. There it is again. Once again, 29 points for Le Canet. Gloucester 29, Jatse 26, Plafay 25, Vinci 24, Ghent 20, Maratea 13. Everything to play for. In the last two Rouge, we go fourth from the left. You've got to get off in the first 5 seconds because then the water's turned off. Where are we? We're slow up. We're very slow. We may not make it. We may not get there. I think we've blown it. You've got to get up there. This is Andy Hammond, and he's not going to do it. In fact, he's out, down and out. That man in centre screen is Andy Hammond of Gloucester, and he's finished. We were hoping for a good time because on the first Fil Rouge we put up a time of 2:08, but then we've been overhauled by 2:23, 2:20 and 2:14 by the Swiss, the Belgians and the French respectively. The French coming down. The Italians still there. Portuguese are down, and the Yugoslavs with 4 atop, with 4 still there. The Belgians, the Swiss are coming, they're all coming down, apart from the Belgians. Listen to the crowd getting wild now. Everybody's descending, the Swiss will touch shortly. The Italians down. So too the Yugoslavs. Still aloft, Belgium. Great performance this. Could be the winner. 2:23 is the best, and he's going to beat it. Just the best time of the night, 2:26. And he well deserves the applause from this crowd, now drying out, the umbrella's been put away, out come the smiles. And you'll see the square at its best. The clouds
We have
have
a
gone
very
by.
good times again.
The light is now
for
clear.
Celtics. For Great Britain, 18 seconds.
Voor Gloucester 18
Another
seconden.
disappointing
Yes,
Fil
for
Rouge.
Portugal, 24.
Voor
But fortunately, the first one, which I thought was pretty brilliant,
France,
was down.
1:14.
Voor Le Canet 1:14.
For Italy, 1:37.
Maratea 1:37.
For Yugoslavia, 1:39.
1:39 voor Jeitzee, Joegoslavië.
For Switzerland, 1:41.
Voor Plafijn, Schwarze 1:41.
And for Belgium, the best absolute time, 2:26.
De beste.
That is tremendous. No doubt about it. It is a difficult game. Look at the little boy in the front going absolutely wild.
En dan gaan we nu kijken naar de...
That's the secret of knockout. It really does bring people together, and it brings enjoyment. It brings spontaneous smiles like no other program does. The readout getting very interesting now. 4 points makes us 33.
Portugal, 3 points.
And a nail-biting climax.
Yugoslavia, 2 points.
2 en
The
de 1
French
punt voor
and the
Italië.
British.
Dat zien we er nu bij.
Italy, 1 point.
Goed zo.
With the
krijgen we het
outsiders.
volledige resultaat. Kijken we nu
Le
maar.
Canet,
Alle
34,
jongens zijn
Gloucester,
gespeeld.
33.
En als de anderen een
Let's
beetje aan de...
watch this last game.
het
All
achterpuntje
teams
gaan hangen.
compete.
Maar in elk geval,
It is a boy
Gent is
from
bekend
each
om zijn
team.
weefnijverheid,
Because
op zijn laken. En
the weaving
daar
industry
is allemaal
has been the staple diet of Ghent progress.
3, 2,
Therefore, the last game is all about the Manchester of Belgium, Ghent. The boys come down. They're attached to a giant roll, and they have to weave in and out of the poles. Everything is color-coded for you. There's the Belgian. He's nearest to us. Next to him, the Italians, Yugoslavia, Switzerland, France. In trap 6, Britain. We need to beat the French, and we're behind the French. The Swiss could win it too. Where are the Swiss? The Belgians are going to finish, and the Swiss are going to finish. Swiss finish first. The Swiss finish first. So they will amass a total of 38 points. The Belgians finish second. Where will they be? Finish second. They're out of it. What about Le Canet? Le Canet coming in now. They've beaten British. They finish in 3rd spot. France finish in 3rd spot. They'll pick up 5 points for that. And 5 points and 34 is 39 points. What about poor Gloucester? Well, lost poor O'Keith Irwin. I think he may have blown it. There's the picture. Every picture tells a story. Definitely the French of 39. The Belgians pick up 6 points. The Swiss pick up 7, 38. We're busy. We're doing a pocket computer up here. Can anybody help us at all? What is certain, I'm afraid, is that Gloucester have not done it. And put us out of our agony. and tell us if the French have won or the Swiss.
For a half a second, Belgium is in the first place. We have Belgium 7 points.
7
points for Belgium, no.
Then Switzerland 6 points.
Plaffa en Schwarzee 6 punten.
Then France
Then it's the
5
French
points.
with 5 points.
punten.
Great Britain
39.
4 points.
4 points for us, 37.
Italy 3 points.
Marathea 3 punten.
So the French have done it. It was a tight battle all the way through, and Gloucester can be very proud of themselves. We had a couple of bad games and just lost the edge on the Fil Rouge, but Gennaro explaining there's nothing you can do for Portugal. The apparatus broke, but it didn't make any difference anyway. They were never going to come. So well down the leaderboard. So let's have a look at it. From the bottom, Marathea 17, Visio 28, Jats 30, Ghent 34, Gloucester 37, Blavine 37, and Lucani the winners with 39 points. You can see the smiles on the faces there despite the weather. And just to remind you, over that happy picture, the finalists in Urbino next week for Belgium Rochefort, for Switzerland Versoix, for the French Foix. For us, the great team of Charnwood, marvellous performance there in La Madeleine with 44 points. Then La Madeleine, who came second in Sardinia with 38. The Portuguese, represented by Madeira with 40 points, and Kachak of Yugoslavia with 45. So Charnwood, cheerful, charming Charnwood, represent Britain in the final next week. End of story. Damsel closes windows on pageant in Ghent on the year 1544. Hope you've enjoyed it. So from us all in the square here, it's a very fond good night to you.